All yours.
Just sitting and having dinner with the loved one, and all of a sudden, they start to shake violently and out of control. Epilepsy is a medical condition name for what we normally recognize as seizures. According to the Epilepsy Foundation in 2013 CDC report, epilepsy affects about 2.2 million Americans and 65 million people worldwide. So today, we will discuss what is epilepsy, its causes, and its risks and treatment for those who have epilepsy. Let's start with what is epilepsy. Epilepsy, according to the Professional Guide of Diseases in 2013, epilepsy is a medical condition that produces seizures that affects a variety of mental and physical functions of the body. However, it is also known by its common name, seizures. When a person has one or more of these seizures, they are considered to have epilepsy. And also, the Professional Guide of Diseases talks about the causes and effects of epilepsy. So, as we see here, epilepsy is divided into two categories, which is acute and remote. With acute causes, one is born with an active disease, which means they're born with this condition in their brain that causes them to have epilepsy. This is called acute. The remote causes is when the brain abnormality is onset by a pre-condition or pre-accident that they encountered playing a sports. Let's say football, and they had a head-to-helmet contact, and all of a sudden now they start having seizures. An episode of this occurs in this way. As to my left, you have a normal-looking brain that all the neurons are working properly. One is going by this day. And all of a sudden, you have a strong surge of electricity that goes through the brain, which now causes that person to have epilepsy or an attack of epilepsy. Now, most people with epilepsy can live a full lifespan. I mean, they go like regular through the day. You wouldn't know that they have epilepsy. But there are potential factors that play into a person that lives with epilepsy, like the risk of injuries and untimely death. As I did an interview with Larry Britton, my brother that has epilepsy, he's about 60 years old, and I said he has a remote cause of epilepsy. He was walking across the street and all of a sudden he heard the fire truck, but he didn't see it, and the fire truck struck him. So this caused him now to have remote epilepsy. And I said, well, what's your fears about having epilepsy? And I quote, "It's not the epilepsy that scares me anymore. It's what's around me when I'm having one." So the risk of having epilepsy is not that epilepsy will cause a person to die, more than not, it's the things that are around him. So his biggest fear is when he have one, he's always aware of where he's at. So this may cause a little limitation to him sometimes. But now that we know the risk, but the treatments of epilepsy, that doctors must first diagnose, but once they diagnose, there are treatments, and those treatments are medication. Some are anti-epilepsy medication, but there are others, such as surgery, and one can have removal of the part that's causing them to have the onset of acute epilepsy. And there's a diet, which one can change their diet, which was known to help one not have so many epilepsy. And also there's therapy. But also in the LA Times back on April 24th in 2003, most females will not choose the medication of epilepsy while they're pregnant, because the medication has been known with a high rate, about 85 to 95%, of causing the fetus to come out with Down syndrome. So a pregnant woman would choose mostly the diet and therapy. So Today, we've discussed what is epilepsy, some of its causes, and the risks and the treatment for someone with epilepsy. So now that we kind of have a better understanding of what it is and someone that's living with each other, then now that when we see someone that has it, we won't run away. We'll be more sympathetic and lend a helping hand. Thank you.